Well, hello everyone. We're here for week 4 match for CCA. I'm part 2, and hello, who am I joined with?
Yes, hello everybody. Sip here once again, here taking the microphone, joining me with part 2. So happy to be here, and yeah, I'm very excited as we're going to be doing a Division 3 match between the UTK Feeders and the RIT White Prawns.
All right. So can you do me a favor? I have not actually been around CCA terribly much now. Can you tell me a little bit more about these teams?
I honestly don't know a whole lot about these two teams, so I'm very excited to see like what both the UTK Feeders and the RIT White Prawns have in store for us. So this is definitely going to be a good chance for us to get to know them more while we see them fight in this week 4 reschedule match. And yeah, so what is the first map of the set here, part 2?
It's looking like it's going to be tower control on Hagglefish Market. I don't see tower control Hagglefish as often as I see its zone's brother, but it is still it's still Hagglefish Market at the end of the day. Still one of the better tower maps, I would, at least in my opinion. Just because of the fact that I don't think it really particularly favors too many weapons. I think Hagglefish is one of those maps in Splatoon 3 that actually does have pretty decent balance across weapon classes. So I kind of feel like just whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you are practiced with, that is what you usually bring to this map, regardless of mode.
Yeah, yeah, I 100% agree, because, yeah, definitely Tower in Haggle is one of the most, preferable map modes in the game. Like, it's not as snowbally compared to other maps in tower control. I feel like this one's the most stable one in my opinion, and yeah, I'm very excited to see how these two teams will work around regarding their comps that they're going to be working with, and I have a feeling we may be seeing a whole good diverse set of comps here, part 2.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes down to what can work here, I have seen a whole bunch of different things. Blasters and Slosher, obviously, I think are going to be some pretty good candidates just for the positioning of some of the checkpoints, especially with some of the specials they have on offer. Vanilla Slosher, obviously, for just being much better in tower control for that triple ink strike, as well as a wide variety of blasters, especially S-Blast with its Booyah Bomb kit. Just being able to secure a checkpoint as well as pressure the high ground that those checkpoints are crossing. I think that utilizing either of those types of weapons would end up being a pretty good deal. Or a roller, even for that matter, can also do similar kinds of work.
Yeah, I remember when I commentated during a week 4 match, I remember seeing a roller coming out, and they were absolutely just getting tons of picks, especially during tower control and Rainmaker. So I'm hoping to see if we'll see a roller be brought up in this set here. So I'm honestly just very excited about it.
Absolutely. The roller pick could end up being really good, regardless of also which one you end up picking of the ones that you would expect to see. Flingza would be able to use missiles pretty decently on this map. You have a couple of good lines to throw curling bombs to be able to cross the map really easily with Vanilla Roller, plus Bubble also just a very good asset to have for tower control in general. Then, of course, you could also always go Carbon Roller. The Zuka, while it still has, it's not quite as devastating as it has used to be. If you're still able to aim your shots well, a Trizuka is still a Trizuka. It's still going to make things happen.
Yeah. I think with a map Haggle, roller, this is definitely another playground for rollers in general because of the ledges and everything. There's a ledge near Switch, there's ledges near the sides of the map, and even in in like mid, like the little tiny edges there, like that surround mid and everything. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fun for it to get tons of picks here. But yeah, or else we may also see like maybe I think for Hagglefish, I feel like it is mandatory that teams do need a backline. So I'm thinking that we may see a backline, probably the heavy edit and less of the pencil. I'm not too sure. What do you think, Part 2?
I'm not gonna have to think for very long since we're about to. It looks like we're about to load in right now, except there's a DC. Never mind.
Oof.
Let's take what we see here with a grain of salt.
That's okay though. I mean, to be fair though, like, you know, I feel like with every match, there's always bound to be like something going wrong. So that's okay though. It happens. I feel like in every streamed match, there always has to be like a DC and technical difficulties. So, you know, that's sort of a common tradition here, especially in any stream, and especially in any Splatoon broadcasting service in general.
Yeah, it happened from the last time I did commentary, but we're going to move past it. It's going to be fine. We're going to be having great games for the fans, and that's the important thing, right? We're going to be seeing some good old-fashioned Splatoon 3.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And with all that being said here, folks, it looks like everything seems to be settling down now, and we're gonna go ahead and get game number 1 started. And ooh, I see some very, very interesting picks here, Part 2. What do you see?
Yeah, I'm seeing we have a heavy edit comp utilizing double dually, which is a style that I haven't seen in quite a while, especially not with the Gluga. Meanwhile, we have a Jet Squelcher coming out with the NZAP cooler alongside the Octobrush and the S-Blast, trying to look very aggressive, I think, to start out with. And that aggression is unfortunately going to result in a trade for the Octobrush to start out, and it's looking like the momentum is going to start moving into the UTK feeders side to start.
Yeah, and I see here that the Jet over in the White Prawns side is now ready to be used. But it seems like they're not using it just yet. They probably just want to wait for a player to stand in front of the vacuum so that they could use it. But it looks like they haven't been using it yet, and it looks like the feeders are just like trying to keep this push alive.
Mm-hmm. What you have to keep in mind with that right now, actually. Well, I'm going to interrupt that thought right now. Is the S-Blast ends up participating in 3 picks right there, ending up getting 2, and then their teammate managing to get another one. Slamwich popping the Ink Vac now to get over toward the first checkpoint, but not quite able to displace the end parry that's threatening right underneath. But it looks like they're going to keep going regardless. 2 down on the side of the feeders.
Yeah, and it seems like now the White Prawns are now flipping the lead here, and an incredible pick there from the Jet, I assume. Yes, that was the Jet, and it seems like they already got their vac out, and they're just doing their best to make sure that they keep this push alive, and they're already at the final checkpoints.
The Inkjet giving them a huge lead there. 17 is a really hard number to come back from on this map because popping through the first and second checkpoints is usually the harder part of Hagglefish. Getting through the third even harder because of the fact that you're near spawn, but it's such a daunting task. And right now, with all of these picks coming out, we're kind of looking for some sort of we're looking to see if things can start stabilizing right now for UTK to possibly come back into this.
Yeah, and I also do notice here that I think we already mentioned this before, but it looks like the UTK feeders are running a double dually here, and I'm honestly very excited to see this because, you know, as someone who is a dually player myself, I love seeing what these dualies have going on, and that was an incredible pick there coming from the Octoshot here, and that leads to the White Prawns here resulting in having the advantage here and maybe potentially starting a push? I don't know. We'll have to find out soon.
Well, might be having to find out right now. Booyah Bomb trying to get a little bit more space. M-Parry Dualies going down to the Octobrush. Right now, there's a pretty sizable special advantage in UTK feeders. So although that they're knocking on the so they're trying to do their best to knock on the door of an actual push here. The Octobrush, the Zap, they just keep on getting space. Zap going down now. All three go down! It's a wipeout all of a sudden, and now it's White Prawns now threatening another push going all the way back to the area where the first checkpoint was.
Oh my god, part 2, I am absolutely flabbergasted by what just happened here. That Jet immediately was able to get, like, 3 with that vacuum shot. Just incredible play there from the Jet. But anyways, it looks like the push for White Prawns is being slowed down a little bit, and it seems like they have to retreat back, letting the feeders to just take control. And yeah, smart play on their side, just not keeping the push going and just like regrouping up and just waiting for another potential push.
They don't even need to have that push, like, really go all the way. They ended up pushing the tower decently far and wasted a ton of time that the feeders need in order to break through 2 checkpoints. There's only a single minute left, and the Booyah Bomb's only going to be slowing them down even further, while the White Prawns are going to be building up 2 more specials potentially. No, the Zap goes down before the cooler can go off, and now... But it doesn't matter, because UTK feeders are going down to the... Wait. Oh god, the momentum in this fight keeps on shifting.
Yeah, the feeders really were holding it steady there, just like making sure that this push keeps on going. And I think because of that, this might have penalized the White Prawns here, and it looks like they're now starting to keep this push going. And by the looks of it, things are looking a bit scrappy, don't you think?
It's a bit scrappy. It's the last couple of minutes. There's just jumps coming in, one after another, trying to push this tower the last couple of inches, but it's not going to be enough. They just end up too staggered for that last minute of that push, and despite getting very close, Game 1 is going to go to RIT White Prawns.
Oh man, I don't know about you, part 2, but I cannot get over that incredible triple there coming from the Jet. Like they were at a really good spot there, and they like knew that there were 3 of them all just clumped up in that radius, in that area where the radius will be at. And yeah, because of that, this just stalled out the push for the feeders.
It was honestly an excellently placed back shot, managing to catch a repositioning player while also barely being on the edge, managing to catch out 2 more. It's one of those moments where you just see the explosion land and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then, but it's too late. When the vac is that big and you're just caught in the center of it, there's not much you can do about it. And it's kind of hard to see coming when you're not looking at the explosion as you're repositioning, which is kind of what ended up happening with the Glooga there. I do also have to highlight the end parry toward the end, trying to keep that push alive, making that hero play, getting a double kill while the team was still really far down and giving that opportunity to get pushes in. It was a valiant effort, and I feel like UTK feeders should be taking this loss with okay, this was close, we can beat them in the next one. So it's absolutely not going to be a foregone conclusion going forward here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like after that game, like, this was definitely a close one for sure. And I think with that mindset that the feeders have, they'll be all like, okay, this is definitely winnable. We could try to work something out in the next couple of games. And yeah, so that's definitely a really good mindset to have, because I feel like there are like moments where players like take the first game like a little too harshly if they lose. But at the end of the day, though, it is just game 1. You still have plenty of chances to like recollect yourself and make your way on top, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. We have 7 maps in this set, and we're going to be going into the second one, Rainmaker on Museum de Alfonsino. And this one, I mean, I've seen this one plenty of times. I've seen this go a battle of inches. I've seen this go all the way to a KO. But usually I end up seeing this being a really tough one to break through. The first checkpoint, that usually ends up falling at some point during the match, but getting any points after the fact is usually very difficult because of all the high ground on the map. You have all of the You have all the different angles that the defenders can come and stop a push at. You have all these choke points just opposed by a whole bunch of walls. There's a whole lot of different strategy that you need to employ, even if you're using the same weapons on this map. What do you think? What do you think these teams are probably going to adapt to this map using?
I have a feeling that the jet might be picked up again from the side of the white prawns. Because I feel like with the jet, I feel like with the vacuum, like it'll definitely increase your chances of in getting a good lead out of it, or maybe even a potential knockout. But it really has to be played it has to be timed very perfectly. So I have a feeling that the white prawns might be picking up the jet again. I'm not too sure what to expect from the feeders. I have a feeling that they may be picking something else, but we'll have to find out as we get game number 2 started here, folks.
Alrighty, and looking like we are going to be loading in. What are we going to be seeing out of this team comp as soon as the game decides to let us see it? Ooh. Like we're going to be seeing quite a bit of adaptation going forward from both teams. Oh, this is going to be fun. Sip, what do you think of these new team comps?
I mean, first off, I see a Neo sploosh. Definitely a little bit of some rat action here coming from them. I also do see the Wellstring on the side of the Y prawns. Definitely wasn't expecting that, but I guess it makes sense, you know, with the shield, with this weapon, it definitely can quickly break the shield. Oh. So that's a pretty solid pick, and as I say that, it looks like the UTK feeders are down 3, and the Y prawns are able to break the first checkpoint.
And the Inkbrush managing to find a few picks and managing to opening the door alongside. But now all these specials are coming out, and now the white prawns are going to be taking their turn to fall, and now space is kind of opened back up. It is now the feeder's turn to try and open up a push, while some of their team is respawning, however. And now the Inkbrush coming up on the flank on the Rainmaker, managing to get it trading into a pretty nasty position, culminating in a wipeout.
Yeah, really great stuff there coming from the white prawns. Like they kept their defense very cool and just were able to like easily take out all of the members from the feeders here. So, and it looks like they're trying to keep this push going here, trying to see if they can break past the first checkpoint pedestal. And I see the V dually is flanking, and I'm honestly here for some V dually action, as V dualies is my main. So I'm honestly very curious to see what they have going on.
Now, right now, they're doing their job. They're managing to keep scrapping, utilizing their dodge rolls, their mobility to their advantage to get the edge over their opponents. Unfortunately, it's looking like it's going to be a little... Whoa, wait, we have a little bit of a breakaway going on. Never mind. The Rainmaker managing to slip through, getting a few extra points on the board for the White Prawns, making the feeders push attempts now needing to go much farther. Though it is still fairly precarious, as the Stamper is the only one left on the White Prawns, and now it's going to be a delayed wipe, giving them the opportunity to break this checkpoint and potentially go even further.
I definitely have a feeling that we will be seeing a constant back and forth between these two teams, because I feel like with Rainmaker in general, there's always going to be that constant back and forth. And as we see here, the feeders are trying to maintain their positioning, waiting for the rest that went out, and it looks like the white prawns are just doing their best to get rid of them out of their plat, and the Wellstring was able to grab the Rainmaker to drop it down. Really good play there. But it looks like now what do you see here?
I'm not entirely sure if I agree with the play to drop the Rainmaker there. It would have just reset into mid, and they were just trying to get it back outside, but it's looking like it's just going to be another scrap into mid. No team really coming out on top right now. The Rainmaker resetting back to its neutral position. It's basically just the end parry and the Inkbrush dancing in mid right now, looking for some kind of advantage, but nothing's really coming of it. We're kind of resetting with the White Prawns only in a slight advantage right now.
Yeah, and as we say that, it looks like now the UTK feeders are now like in an advantage here, and it seems like they're about to get the lead. Will they get it? They are! Wow, that was incredible there coming from the side of the UTK feeders. Like, they were able to, like, they noticed what was going on. They noticed that all of the members of White Prawns were a little bit pushed back a little bit, and they're keeping this push alive, able to get 1 point remaining.
all the way down to 1 point. The Ink Brush going to snag the Rainmaker and just reset it. We're just not taking any chances whatsoever. We're going to trust that we can bring it back. We're going to make sure we only have a single minute though in order for the White Prawns to come back into this, and they have to KO in order to stay in this one. Otherwise, this is the Feeder's game, and all they have to do is stall them out for as long as possible.
Yeah, but as you mentioned before, part 2, this is one of those maps where, like, after you break the first checkpoint, it's gonna be very hard to, like, push in. So, we'll see what the White Prawns have planned, but they seem to be really struggling a little bit.
Yeah, trying to make something happen. Only 30 seconds left. 2 members going down, and the Feeders are even going to take control of the Rainmaker now, carry it even further back in order to make it even harder for White Prawns to even get anything done. They're putting it into such an awkward spot. The Stamper has to drop down. Dooley managing to find the pick onto the Rainmaker, but the entire team is down. This is going to end up just getting picked right back up by the Feeders, and they're going to equalize the set with the Rainmaker shield completely up, and overtime being exhausted before the White Prawns can even get a chance to pick it up again.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible from the Feeders. Like, they kept it cool, like, when starting out the push. Like, they were trying to assess the situation there for a moment, and then they realized, okay, we could try to push this. And sure enough, they did. Able to not only flip the lead, but also get to 1 point remaining, which is really incredible.
Yeah, absolutely a very good showing here. Once again, this is going to end up being a very evenly matched set. I've actually done a little bit of looking around, and it looks like as of right now, the rankings for their group, the RIT White Prawns and the UTK Feeders are both right now tied in terms of their points. They are roughly evenly matched right now. So this is going to have some great implications on their scoring right now. And so far, like, I can definitely see we're going to be in for a good match with how close these games have been so far.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, I always love a good, fairly balanced match. Like, in general, like, it's just so there's always bound to be tons of chaos happening, and just incredible plays coming from every single individual player there, and yeah, like, I honestly just can't wait to see, like, what these next few games offer here. And speaking of which, what is the next game going to be, part 2?
It's going to be Mako Mart Clam Blitz, probably like one of the modes I see the least often, maybe next to Rainmaker for Mako Mart, but it's still Mako Mart at the end of the day. A lot of the fundamentals still apply. However, you are going to have to contend with the fact that there are going to be places all over where people can do flanks, and we have already seen that we have members on both teams who are very capable of hanging out to the side. We saw the Ink Brush, we saw the Doolies, we end up seeing a Sploosh. There's going to be a whole lot of really scrappy fights going throughout Mako Mart due to how open it is, how many different little alleyways that you have to keep track of. And with the clam baskets being so short distance from one another, a complete wipeout is often extremely devastating on this map because you can go right from a hold straight into scoring with very little downtime in between. It's one of the more unique clam blitz maps in the game because of this.
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to highlight as well that that Mako Clams is one of those map modes where one of those clam maps where I feel like the baskets are very close to each other, so there's definitely going to be that constant back and forth, and even like breaking including like pushes in general, and a lot of constant lead switches from my experience personally. And so I'm very interested to see if we're going to be seeing a bit of that constant back and forth there. Well, I don't know. We'll have to find out soon enough. And
yeah, we're going to be loading back in right now, and we'll be seeing the teams as they've picked them. Again, this is going to be a very scrappy map. Likely going to be seeing a lot of flanks. I'm curious to see. We're going to be seeing Looking like it's going to be a lot of the same. Anchorless NZAP versus Anchorless.
Oh.
Anchorless just go at them QR, I guess. What do you
Oh
think
my
about this
goodness.
one?
I mean, I was not expecting a double anchorless comp coming from both teams. This is definitely going to be quite interesting. Like, I'm with it. Like, I love a good, just these constant, like, in-your-face kind of, like, comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, it's already proving to be true. There's a whole lot of small one-on-one engagements coming out. We have the Sploosh able to jump out, popping the Killer Whale as soon as they jump back. 3 go down on the side of what it's a full wipeout, actually. 4 and the Feeders are going to be able to open up the basket, get their first couple points on the board. This is going to be a devastating push if they manage to continue the momentum.
Yeah, and as we say that, that was an incredible reef slider coming from the Feeders there. And it looks like this may be the end the push here for the Feeders here, and it looks like now that the White Prawns are trying to now try to retake mid here and push back the Feeders from claiming their basket.
Yeah, they're going to be now with huge special advantage, I might add, going to be knocking on the Feeder's doorstep while they're gathering up a whole bunch of clams. Bubble popped. We have a double coming out from the Ink Brush, and the Decaf getting into another scrap. Unfortunately, looking like they ran out of ink in order not able to clean that up. And yet again, the Ink Parry running out of ink as well. Nobody has remembered to restock on ammo. Sheldon, we need your sponsorship money.
Yeah, that is honestly so true there. Oh my god, that was such a funny moment right there, folks, not gonna lie. But it looks like right now it looks like things are a bit neutral for both teams. But as I say that, the Feeders are now up with the advantage, able to get another wipeout, and will they be able to break the basket? They will. And it seems like they're now trying to like see if they can. Oh, what a miss there.
Yeah, you hate to see it. They try to recover it, but unfortunately that clam is just going to break. However, they still end up extending the lead even more at the very last second to getting those normal clams in to extend the push even further, stalling it with one more, chugging it away, down to 25. This is actually a very solid lead for the Feeders, and they keep staggering the White Prawns while they try to come back into mid. It's going to be a very difficult fight as the halfway point of the match has now gone. The Sploosh just keeps on sharking everywhere, setting up for more clams, somehow managing to completely sneak by everyone despite making a power clam right next to them. Oh, this is a chaotic match. Sib, what's your take on this?
First off, I want to say that was really like very good stuff there coming from the Sploosh there. Like, they really just like were waiting for the opportunity. And anyways, enough about that. It looks like now that it is the White Prawns' time to shine, able to get 60 remaining. Will they be able to get 40? They are! That's an incredible push there. But unfortunately, though, I think this might be the end. And I think they, with a little, once they regroup, they're gonna try to do the repush. It's like I said before, there's gonna be this constant back and forth with these baskets very close to each other. So.
Yeah, and with that score now much less daunting, there's so much less room that you need to move. You still have a power clam that you can pick up in order to get map control, and it looks like they currently do have some map control. The Decap managing to get in another power clam, the Ink Brush almost managing to get in scoring range, not quite enough. The Booyah Bomb going to try and get there, and they do. They manage to secure a 1-point lead, very precariously though, as the Feeders are now already on the other side of the map with a splashdown, taking out the Ink Brush. The counter push takes the lead back. This game is moving so quickly, Sib.
Yeah, and as we say that, now the White Prawns were able to secure a wipeout there, and this is what we mean here, folks. Like, this just constant back and forth, as I stand correct here. Like, oh my gosh, and are they gonna be able to get it? They still have it. They are! Oh my god. Okay. I know what I just said was so poorly worded. I'm just absolutely so invested by what these White Prawns just had for us in store, and they were able to get themselves that knockout, getting game number 3. My goodness, part 2, that was absolutely incredible of a back and forth.
You know when you watch, like, a really cool anime, and it's like, and you're down to the very last fight scene, and the main character and the final boss villain are just punching each other, completely exhausted from all of their coolest tricks, and it's just a brutal beatdown, blow for blow. That's what I just witnessed these two teams doing to each other. A huge push, followed by another push coming from the other team, and then another counter push, lead swapping every single time until it finally ended in a KO. It was absolutely exhilarating to watch, and well played on both teams' part, as they just both completely threw defense out the window for unrelenting offense, and it ends up working entirely within the White Prawns' favor in order to take their second game.
Yeah, like you said, that was an exhilarating game to watch. Because of how exhilarating it was, I just lost all the words that I was going to say there. Like, I was at a loss for words there. Yeah, just really great stuff from both of these teams. Like, I think this is what we were waiting for here, part 2. Like, just this very well-balanced fight here and the chaos that we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what Mako Clams feels like all of the time, even if it doesn't play out exactly like this. Just absolute carnage back and forth. Just everyone just trading out just to get another score in. Just lead swap after lead swap. Specials flying every which way, people jumping in left, right, front, and center, and you just can't cover everything, especially when there's no anchor weapons to be seen to stabilize anything. Everyone's playing in a volatile, explosive way, and it just culminates in that sort of absolute mess that I adore so much.
100%. Like, I just absolutely love a good chaotic game, especially just what we saw. I think, like, out of the games that we've seen so far, Mako Clams has got to be my favorite, and I hope it is for you too, part 2. But anyways, we are heading to game number 4 here, folks. It is going to be Splat Zones on Brine Water. A bit of a interesting map mode, if I do say so myself. Definitely a playground for the backliners for sure. So I'm very curious if these guys will be running, if both of these teams will be picking up the backline weapons again. But what do you think?
I think that Brine Water Zones is definitely my pick for one of the most frustrating maps to have in a solo queue rotation if you're playing anything that loses to E-Leader or Hydra Splatling. I don't know if we're going to be seeing either of those here, but we are seeing one of my personal favorite weapons, the Rapid Pro Deco. Oh boy, I'm going to have to keep my bias in check for this one.
Yeah, and I see here that the White Prawns are picking up the Splattershot Nova, an uncommon weapon that you don't normally see in competitive. You know what? As a former Nova main myself, I'm here for it. Like, I am very curious to see what this Nova has got cooking. But it looks like now that the White Prawns are at a pretty good advantage, able to take the zone, and they're trying their best to like mess around with the feeders.
They are surging back, however, getting to use their splashdown, and now an Inkjet is going to be responding to all this aggression. I actually do like this idea with having the Rapid and the Explode combo off of each other while having two dualies to be able to go forth and cause chaos, with one of them having the Crab to be a backup anchor if needed. Right now, however, it doesn't seem to be playing out that way, as it's kind of gone back to being really, really scrappy, as neither of these teams have picked a backline that's, like, particularly oppressive on this map, but definitely useful, as I'm seeing now the Inkvac going to be coming in clutch for some of these defenses, potentially.
Yeah, and as we see here, folks, that we saw, like, the double splashdown from both teams just, like, messing each other up and able to get the trade. And it seems here now that the feeders are able to retake the zone here. And the thing with Brine Water zones, they have to have at least 3 players to push up to their to the opponent's spot, while the backline just still chills in the zone, just waiting to get a just waiting, keeping an eye out for any flankers.
Get an absolutely great 2-for-1 here, keeping the White Prawns away, and looking like that's going to lead to a lead swap, getting that wipeout, and positioning the feeders to be able to go forth, splash down, get another pick on the back line, and following up even further, this is going to be looking like a KO unless they can get extreme value out of the splashdown and Inkjet now firing.
Yeah, it seems like now that the White Prawns are trying to get their specials ready, and with the Jet, it seems like they're trying to get a push going here, and we see the flanking end parries just trying to release their triple splashdown, and unfortunately wasn't able to get a good pick out of it, and now they're kind of in a bit of a sticky situation where they have to fight against the double backline. But
Yeah,
they seem to be surviving.
Surviving for now. They managed to get the zone flip with 5 left on the clock. It's going to be a very close to a KO or die situation here. They're going to need to keep hold of this zone, keep the dualies in check, especially because both the end parry and the vanilla dualies are giving them a huge amount of trouble. Not able to quite keep up with them with their dodge rolls, getting a whole bunch of value. However, they are managing to hold for now. There's a cheeky little shark happening in mid, and it's looking like it's going to result in a really good pick, a forced splashdown, and drawing attention away so that the feeders can get right back into it and get into advantage.
Yeah, like, this is just absolutely insane here, part 2. Like, we see these teams just constantly just going at each other's throats and trying their best to, like, retake the zone. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I feel like I've been seeing a lot of messages popping up, like, with the zone just, like, being switched in whichever team whichever team side they're on.
Yeah, this has just been kind of like, this is what happens when you take two teams that are favoring reckless aggression and just pit them against each other. It's just constant go, 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 flipping back and forth. Right now, the White Prawns are going to be able to take back control of the zone, but for how long? Inkstorm and Killer Whale going to be putting a lot of pressure onto them, getting a double, managing to get the zone back, and working on that penalty yet again. The Inkjet getting sniped right out of the sky, so the White Prawns aren't even going to be stabilizing off of that.
Yeah, and as we see here, folks, it looks like 3 members of the feeders are trying to push up and try to like stall this one out for not letting the White Prawns get in there. But as I say that, they seem to be a little bit struggling here, letting go with their defense. And as we see here, that they are still able to retake the zone and able to secure that knockout, able to get game number 4.
Back and forth, back and forth. That is what these teams are constantly going. They just match blow for blow. Neither of them are really getting an advantage over another. I do have to say, I think that looking through that match and thinking about it as the KO was coming in, the White Prawns, I think that their issue right there was actually probably the fact that they just weren't able to match the aggression quite as well as normal. Perhaps maybe because of the fact that they decided to rely on a special spam weapon rather than one that tries to make plays happen with its main weapon in the form of the Anarchy Nova. It's hard to say. The dualies were causing a whole lot of problems, and stacking 2 of them ended up working out really well in the feeder's favor.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, part 2. Yeah, like just I feel like with specials, you really gotta like well coordinate them very well, and I feel like for the White Prawns, they didn't do a good job with that. So hopefully, like after this game, like they'll try to do better regarding like the chain reaction of specials, in order to retake the objective and starting like pushes and such. So hopefully they'll learn from that after what they dealt with in brine water zones. But anyways, what do we have next for game number 5?
We've got ship-shape tower control, and that is going to be another interesting one indeed. Sid, why don't you tell me your impression of this map? Because I've got mine, but I want to see if it aligns with yours.
Where do I even begin? Um, all I can say is that Tower Ship Shape is one of those is a really snowbally map mode. That's all I can say about it. Like, I feel like with I feel like whenever like you're at a pretty safe, wherever you're at a pretty good lead too, um, it's still not safe because I feel like when you're at like 20 or less, it's still not safe because of how snowbally the map mode can be. So I'm very curious to see like what these teams will work around, especially with the constant snowball effect that this map mode has.
Both teams have been showing to be playing ahead of the objective pretty efficiently, and which is what I noticed going into the zones map, which is what I noticed in the Rainmaker map a bit, and I think that trend is going to continue, and it's a particularly effective strategy here. If you can set up a weapon that is really good at sharking under ledges, like near the enemy spawn, like after a decisively won fight, this map really spirals out of control. And if either team ends up giving that opportunity up, it could be over in about a minute.
Yeah, and I do see here that the Rapid Pro Deco is still being picked up on the side of the feeders, and I now see that the White Prawns are now having the Wellstring custom here. Pretty much the same weapons that we've seen so far in the last couple of games. So hopefully, with these changes that they made with the comms, this could like make an interesting fight here.
Could be, but unfortunately they end up 2 down in this first fight, giving the feeders the first push. However, they do have a Booyah Bomb. Never mind, it ends up getting picked off by the Rapid, which means this first checkpoint is likely going to fall with the decaf not wanting to approach any of that and getting caught out anyway.
Yeah, as we saw there, the Rapid Pro Deco was doing an incredible job, able to get a couple of picks with the line marker, or at least assist with the line marker, helping out their team, like able to finish those picks there, and yeah, just the good teamwork going on from what I've noticed from the feeders.
Good teamwork, managing to catch a couple of overextensions, managing to keep the advantage going. They're losing members, however, they are taking more in return. They're going to be able to get this pick and managing to camp a jump. No, it's the dually, and they managed to roll away just in time and burn the bubble without any particular value off of that. That is a really good pick to be able to reset momentum and prevent this checkpoint from falling.
Yeah, and even as well, like retaking the stacks as well is very crucial in this in ship shape, because I feel like when ship shape is taken by the opponents, it's definitely going to be hard for the team to like push to like retake it, and you know, because of how snowbally this map mode is. But anyways, it looks like now that the UTK feeders are resuming their push, and the White Prawns here seem to be able to get 3 picks out of that, and now they seem to be resetting themselves, regrouping up, and now just trying to see if they could work out a push.
We kept going down to the rare dart kill, but the Inkbrush going to be able to pick up some slack, zone away one of their teammates, getting another pick, popping the killer whale. Unfortunately, the decap goes down before it can fully charge its bubble, but there is now a Booyah Bomb in the works, now potentially able to secure this checkpoint. But there's still so many people just around. They just keep bleeding members. And unfortunately, that checkpoint is going to stay up.
Yeah, and it seems here that the White Prawns are just like messing around a little bit, just seeing if they could distract the feeders a little bit here. But unfortunately, though, the brush does go down. And that leaves the feeders, again, are resetting themselves, regrouping up, and starting another push here. And it looks like now, I don't know what's going on here. What do you see here?
Right now, it's looking like the feeders are going to be moving forward with going all the way to checkpoint 2. This is going to be a dangerous position, especially now that the feeders have a couple sharking weapons. They get 2. They're going back onto the checkpoint. There's specials coming up. They will have a Booyah Bomb relatively soon unless the glucose go down. The checkpoint falls, and it looks like it's going to end up stabilizing in the White Prawn's favor unless this T-Tech and this N-Parry manages to pull something out of their hat. and it's looking like they will, as a
Oh.
hero play, as constant jumps from both dualies end up getting a full wipeout, and the momentum is reset once again.
Yeah, like what an incredible play there from the side of the end parries. Like they really just like hold control of their of the Prawns' like snipe there, able to like keep the push going, resulting in a knockout.
Yeah, that's a complete knockout, and they're now the feeders are now one game away from taking the entire set. I kind of feel as if there was definitely something in the last push attempt that the White Prawns did where they were trying to get through the checkpoint. It kind of felt like they were trying to skip to step 2 without going through step 1. Their team was unfocused. They were all over the place trying to take fights and picks in places where it didn't really matter. That Booyah Bomb ended up getting thrown well clear of the checkpoint where there was 2 members of feeders that needed to go down, and the White Prawns end up paying for it, not able to get the momentum back, just kind of trying to do things on their own. I was kind of feeling like I was watching a bit of a solo queue team going on right now, which is a little harsh to say, but with how decisively the feeders were able to take control back, it does kind of feel like an apt comparison right now.
Yeah, and hopefully, like after this game, the White Prawns are gonna again reset themselves, and hopefully try to work something around, especially since they do have one more chance in order to like keep this set alive. And yeah, like honestly though, I'm not really too sure, because like after what we saw in the last 2 games, like the White Prawns were definitely like have definitely been really struggling compared to the first games that we saw.
That might be true, but there is still another chance for them to come back. We are going to be loading into Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway. Yet again, another very different map, and one that is going to be quite a different feel even from Museum. It is a very choky map in the middle of the map, as well as after the first checkpoint. You almost always take the far checkpoint because of the fact that even though it is slower, it is much safer to go through. But even then, after that checkpoint, it still bottles up with the enemy team getting a lot of high ground, which is going to always be hard to push through. As long as you manage to maintain like that height advantage, maintain the ability to surround the enemy, which has to bunch up in order to get through, use their specials properly. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I also do want to highlight here, I feel like with Rainmaker Undertow, there's always bound to be like dynamic fights happening in different areas of the map. Like I feel like there's always going to be a fight, like a constant fight happening in mid, and then there's a fight happening near the checkpoint, and then there's always going to be a fight happening near the final checkpoint. So like, I'm very curious to see if we'll see that if we will see those dynamic fights that we saw earlier.
I think we might. And I do need to remind everyone that, like, even though that these last 2 games ended up looking a bit shaky from the White Prawns, they absolutely have it in them to take another game in order to tie this set up and go to a Game 7. I don't necessarily want to count them out right now if they manage to reset and get this momentum back. And Rainmaker is a good time to do so. If you can just get the Rainmaker far enough, and there's a lot less space for Undertow, where like the feeders are not going to be able to find as many flank opportunities just naturally because of how the map works, which I think is something they've been leveraging to their advantage in these last couple of maps.
Yeah, we'll have to find out soon enough. Honestly though, like I'm just really hoping that we get to see like some of the comps that they ran earlier on the side of White Prawns here, because I feel like with the comps that they have, it's definitely going to be much more helpful for them, especially in a map mode like Undertow Rainmaker, because yeah, I don't know, like with what they have, it's definitely going to be much more suitable for them, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of really insane plays coming from them.
Yeah, this is another match where I feel as if it can go either way. We've already been seeing that like these matches have been very close. While UTK feeders looked very strong in these last 2 games, I have to remind everyone that the preceding 3 games just were extremely tight. They could have gone either way, especially Clan Blitz, which was really just a matter of just everything everywhere all at once. And I think that kind of energy might end up benefiting the White Prawns potentially if it ends up manifesting yet again. This is another map where I kind of feel as if maybe they end up changing things up. Maybe they end up trying to see if they can find in the matches that they won the comp that was really working for them and just locking in on that. I kind of feel as if and for the feeders, they are able to. They have been able to leverage what they know. Like, their dualies have been showing extreme patience and extreme proficiency in 1v1ing and even 2v1ing at times. So leaning on that is going to definitely go in their favor as well.
Yeah, I think like what we just did there is like we were analyzing all of their strengths and weaknesses. So let's see if they will be able to learn from their weaknesses and try to like turn it into strengths here in game number 6, I believe. And it looks like both of these teams are going to be running the same typical weapons that they ran before. And I don't know if we've seen this yet, but did we see the Dapple Dualies before?
I don't remember because I have the memory of a goldfish. However, we do have them right now, and it is still functioning as the second dually, and it is so far working out as the team ends up getting a full wipeout. The feeder's going to be able to break this first checkpoint immediately within the first 30 seconds, now putting the White Prawns on the back foot immediately and surging forward extremely quickly, and with closing these next 2 out with a splash bomb.
Yeah, and from what we saw,
it's just over.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say there. Yeah, I was about to say there that the UTK feeders did an incredible job there, just like using their specials very well, able to like stall out a lot of time for the White Prawns to like try to retake a mid and everything and that kind of stuff, but they just went in.
They just rode the momentum that they built from those last 2 games and just went in, completely able to dance around and outplay the double dually comp and everything supporting it. The Neo Splooshes support and Killer Whale, the Rapid's ability to pressure from range, closing out those, making the picks for everyone to be able to. They just took the comp that was working and they just pushed it as hard as they could, and well, Rainmaker happened and we got a KO within a minute.
Yeah, that was definitely like a really clean game from the UTK feeders, just able to complete this set. And it looks like I'm not sure, but are we going to be doing one more game before we wrap up? I am not too sure. It looks like we are here, folks. Even though that the UTK feeders are able to we're able to get week 4 on their end. It's still the tradition where both these teams can practice more with their weapons that they have, and even like okay. My bad here, folks. It looks like we are not going to be doing game number 7 here. My apologies.
Well, regardless, it was a very good showing from the White Prawns. I feel as if the loss of momentum ended up hurting quite badly for them toward the end there. but it was a really good showing regardless. They did show very, very capably that they could absolutely go toe-to-toe, but the momentum ended up being a little bit too much to bear this time, but there's always going to be another day, another match, where they could end up being the victors. And I have to say congratulations to the UTK feeders for managing to harness the absolute brutality that is the double dually comp and pushing it as far as they possibly could. This was an absolutely absolutely great set to watch, and I am glad to have been part of it.
Yeah, same here. Like honestly, like both of these, even though that the White Prawns weren't able to secure the dub, they really did a great job, like showing their strengths, during the game, and they really gave all that they had, and that was honestly just like incredible stuff that we saw from them as well. So like honestly, like don't let this game down you guys. Like you guys really did incredible. Like always look at the bright side of things, especially like some of the incredible plays that each of you all did. Like the triple there from the vacuum there in game 1, and even just the incredible push that you guys got from game number 3 in Mako Clams. Like just the littlest things in life that you got to be proud of.
I also have to say, like, with the UTK feeders, I was in love with how they managed to maneuver these dualies, managing to just showing some incredible patience, even in some dire situations, managing to find opportunities to shark, to take a 1v1 and snowball, using that momentum over and over again. It was a consistent thing, no matter what they were being surrounded by. It was just very consistently enabled, and that is something that I am always happy to see, especially from like an N parry dually, especially, which is been historically the less popular of the two.
Yeah, like what we saw from that Empire there, like they really were just like holding a lot of ground here, like able to get like insane value with the triple splashdown. A special that a lot of people think is that many people think is not like the greatest. I feel like from what I've heard, but honestly though, it definitely works out if you play it right. And sure enough, like those Emperors like were able to get a lot of value out of it, just using it at the right time at the right place. So, but anyways, I think we are wrapping up, but we are going to wrap things up here. But yeah, part 2. Where can the awesome people in chat find you?
You can find me part 2 on Blue Sky and part 2 SR on Twitch and YouTube. Sib, what about you?
Well, you can find me as well on Blue Sky at Siberino. You can also find me on Twitch. I pretty much just talk a lot about comp Splatoon as well as just my comp journey as well. Yeah, that's all I have for you folks.
Yep, and with that, I think we are good to get on out of here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you for another exciting Splatoon match sometime in the near future. Stay good.